Welcome guys, and in this tutorial I want to show you how you can create an Access database in the next 20 minutes. So stay tuned. To begin with, you are going to this start button on the bottom left corner. Then I'll search Access. Once it opens, you'll have your database, and now from this we can click on a blank desktop database, because that's what I'm going to show you how to create. And here I want to choose where I'm going to save my database. So if I just save it by default, it will be saved in this path, which is the documents, but I don't want that. I want to put it on my desktop, so I'll click on that icon, then I'll search for my desktop. There it is, and the name here is database 1. I can change it from here, or still I can change it from this point here. Here we have database 1 here. I can call this something like my shop. From there, and click on create, and it will initialize a blank database. For simplicity, let me delete this table here so that we begin everything from nothing. So simply close that, and now we don't have anything in our database. The first thing that I want us to create in our database is a table. How do we create a table? So simple. Hover over the create, click on this create tab. Under this create tab, we have it will display a ribbon which has tables, queries, forms, reports, and all this. We'll be creating most of this, but we want us to focus on tables as per now. The simplest way to create a table very easily is through table design, and I'm going to show you how to create a table with table design. When you click on table design, these options will be provided, and now you need to enter the field name, which actually is a column name, and then the data type. So if this is my shop, I want first of all to create a table for the products. So what I'm going to enter here is the product name, and that is short text. I want also to enter here product price, that is going to be number, and then I can also enter here description. Let me just say desk. So description may be a little bit of a long text, and then because somebody may not understand what desk is, I want to explain it further here. So I can say this is the description, just in case somebody doesn't understand what desk will mean. I want also to add something else, which is the ID. So I'll call this product ID, and I want to have it of as type auto number, just for simplicity. One more thing we need to do is to emphasize so that if a user provides a product, they must also enter the price and description and the product ID. The product ID is auto number, so it will auto increment by itself, but at least the user must enter the description and price and also the name. So what we are going to do to emphasize that is to click on this first row, which is the product name, and then down here on the general, I want us to change this required, which is no here, to yes, so that it is required. It's mandatory that you must enter the product name, and then allow zero length. Let us change that to no. Just double click on it. It will also just like toggle that, and then you can also look at all these other fields, but I'm not interested in them right now. But text align, I can put it at the center of my cells, so I can change that text align to center, which is not necessary. You can even put it on the left or right, depending on how you would like. Now price, what I'm going to do here with the price, I'm going just to allow it to be required, But then on top of that, I want to provide a validation rule so that somebody does not enter product to be product price as 0. So to do that, this validation rule, this validation rule is what I need to provide here. So click on these 3 dots, and then here I just want to put here something like greater than 30. Then okay, so that I'm sure that in my shop there is nothing whose price is less than 30, so that one will stand. Then the description is required. I don't want description to be required, it just be there. If you provide it, okay. If you don't provide it, still okay. So now it's time to save our table. So click here, and then that is table 1. No, I want to change its name to product table. So that's my products. Then it says that there's no primary key defined. Okay, cancel that so that we can define our primary key. I want this product ID to be our primary key. Click on that. You have 2 options, either to click on this primary key here, or you can right click on this column and select primary key here. So whichever the case, I'm choosing that, but you can also do it the other way. Now we're going to save it successfully. There we go, products done. So okay, and under tables you can see we have products. Now next, I want us to create a form which simply allows us to enter data in our products. We can, let me close this first, close that. If now I open my products table, as you can see, we have all those data fields that we were provided with, that we specified earlier. Now I can input product, say something like bread, and if I can spell it right, bread, price, one or more values prohibited by the validation rule greater than 30. Okay, so I want price to be, if I put here 25, then it's going to say it must be greater than 30, and that is what I provided. So let me just put there something like 35, which I'm sure it has no problem. Description was optional, product ID is already provided here, so then it's okay. I can go to the next one, put here something else like apple. Okay, I cannot be 0, so let me change that to something like 50, for example, and that is it. But then it's not okay to have users enter data into the database tables directly this way, and that is why Access provides you with forms. That's what we're going to create next. So on Create tab, we come to Form, and I want us to create a form design. Before that, let me close everything here so that we can come here to Form Design. On Form Design, will be provided by this. Let me just click there so that we can have a lot of space here. And let me expand this a little bit. Now this is the platform where we're going to draw our form. The first thing is that we are provided here with extra tabs which are going to help us to design our form. The first thing I want us to do is to provide a label for our form, and I'll click on this label here, and then I'll draw my label there, and then I'll call that my product entry form. Just like that. Now I want to make it a little bit better, so I'll come here to property sheet, and then I want to change its back color or its background color to something like, let me have this a gray, and then the fore color, change it to let me choose blue, whichever that makes you happy. Just feel free to do it. Text align, I want to put it at the center. Font size, I want to increase to 15. I don't have 15 here, but I can just input here 15. And there we go. Now I have mine here looking like that. Now I can preview this. I can preview my form right now, even though it only has the title, by clicking here on view and then choose form view, and that is how our form looks like by now. Excuse. Next, let's go back to the design view for our form, and next thing we want to provide is those fields from our table. Now to do that, we click here on add existing fields. The next, click on show all tables. Next, click on the plus sign here, and then it is going to display all the fields that are present in the table. So by the way, we are not going to use product ID because as we saw earlier, it is auto increment, so we don't need it. Whatever we need here is just product name, price, and then description. And description is optional, so whether we provide it or not, no problem. So the first thing I'm going to do is drag this product name here, then price, then description. I just want to center them a little bit. Like that. I want to increase sizes of these boxes here because I want to do some editing to make them look good. So next, I want to select that, hold down the control, then add this and add price and description, and then go back to property sheet. I want to make them look a little bit nicer. So what I'm going to do is take the product name and price and description and make them look a bit better. So back color, the back color, I'm going to change the back color to gray steel, faint, then fore color, I'll only change the fore color to, let me have that a little bit of purple. There we have it. Text align, let me push it towards the right so they look like that. Now up to that point, I think everything is fine. Now let me just reduce the size of that a little bit, and there we go, we have our form. Now from that point we can go ahead and let me just line up this. Let me just align them so that they look a little bit nicer, like that. And we can preview what we've just done by again coming here and selecting form view. And now that is how our form looks like. But for our form to be effective, we need buttons that can control whatever we enter. Maybe if we want to delete or do something on this. So what I'm going to do is go back to our design view, and from this I want to introduce buttons here. Now that is a button, this piece here, this icon with X marks on it. So what I'm going to do, click on that, and then I'm going to draw here a button for saving. So I need one button for saving. The moment you draw your button, you will get this dialog box which allows you to choose the type of button. Now mine is going to be a record operation button and is going to save a record, or maybe to add new. So let me just do the add new. Next. Now on this next dialog box, you can choose if you have an image you'd like to use as your background for your button, then you can choose that. Otherwise, I just want to use text, and I want to delete this text so that it's only just add like that. Next, command 4. This will be used when we'll be doing some little bit of programming later on, but not right now. So let it just be command 4, then hit finish. Now that is how our add button looks like. And I think by this time we can even we can do one for delete and all that, but all will just work fine. So what I want to do right now is to check if mine is working. So what I want to do first of all is look at the form view. Now I have a good form. I can use it to enter some data into my database, and now what I'm going to do is simply go back to my design view. That is how it looks like. Save it as product entry form, hit OK, and if I click there, you're going to see under forms we have it there. So close all this, try products, there we have it. Let me insert salt, price, let me have it as 50 shillings, 50, and then description, let me just say salt. Add, there we go, we can confirm if we have salt, and there we have salt there. So that is it, guys. That is how we can create a database and a form to enter data into the database. I'd like to stop there. Consider subscribing. Have a great time.